Hey everyone, and welcome back to One Ear Whiskey presents Cocktails and Chronicles. Today, we're tackling the big one. The cocktail that, depending on who you ask, originated in the 1800s, was named after Kentucky bourbon legend, and is the best-selling classic cocktail on earth, the Old Fashioned. We're going to get into the real history, not just the legend, and we're making two versions on the channel, a classic build and my own personal recipe. Let's get into it. If you watched our James E. Pepper Story Behind the Bottle series, you know the popular legend that this cocktail was invented at the Pendennis Club in Louisville in honor of Colonel James E. Pepper, who then introduced it to the Waldorf Astoria in New York. It's a great story, it's been told for almost a century, and cocktail historians have thoroughly debunked it. Here's what actually happened. The earliest documented cocktail definition appears in 1806, in a New York newspaper called the Balance and Columbian Repository. It's described as spirits, bitters, water, and sugar. People called it a bittered sling. By the 1860s, bartenders started adding curacao, absinthe, and other liquors to make cocktails fancier and more elaborate. And as cocktails got more complex, some drinkers started asking bartenders for something simpler, something like what they used to drink. Bartenders started calling that simpler style old-fashioned. The term old-fashioned cocktails shows up in print as early as 1880. In the Pendennis Club, the supposed birthplace, wasn't even founded until 1881. What's true is that the old-fashioned evolved gradually over decades as American drinkers' answer to cocktails getting too fussy, and it just kept getting more refined from there. Sugar cubes replaced sugar loaf around 1900, orange slices started appearing around 1905, and the maraschino cherry didn't even show up until after 1930. In 2015, the city of Louisville, leaning into that Pendennis legend anyway, debunked or not, officially named the Old Fashioned its city cocktail, and they celebrate Old Fashioned Fortnight every June, capped off by National Bourbon Day on June 14th. A quick side note before we get into the recipe. Not everybody makes this with whiskey. In Wisconsin, the brandy Old Fashioned is so popular it was named the official state cocktail in 2023. There's a whole regional dialect of old-fashioned orders up there. If you ask for it sweet, they'll add lemon lime soda. If you ask for it sour, you'll get grapefruit soda. There's even a smoked version torched tableside with cocktail smoker for the full theatrical effect. The old-fashioned has been remixed more times than almost any cocktail in American history, and we're about to get into two versions from that very long list. Let's start with the classic build. Close to what you'd find in those 1890s recipe books, with a couple of modern staples like the cherry added in. Here's what you need. 1 tablespoon of sugar, Angostura bitters, 1 cocktail cherry, 3 ounces of rye. I'm going to use Sazerac 90 proof for this one. An orange peel for garnish, and a rocks glass with a single ice ball. You start by just dropping the sugar in the glass, adding a few dashes of Angostura bitters right into the sugar, add a small splash of water, and muddle that together until the sugar breaks down. Next, we'll add 3 ounces of our rye whiskey, and then we'll drop in a large ice ball. And the size matters here. A big single piece of ice melts slower and won't water down the drink as fast as smaller ice would. Stir gently to combine and chill. Finally, express your orange peel over the top to release the oils, and then drop it in or set it on the rim. And finally, drop in your cocktail cherry. That's the classic. Simple, traditional, built exactly the way bartenders have been building it for well over a century. Alright. That is exactly the way an old-fashioned should be. The spice from the Sazerac comes through cleanly. The sugar rounds it out without making it too sweet. You get depth from the bitters, and the orange oils just lift the whole thing up. This is simply perfect. Now let's make my version. That one starts a day before, so quick note on that. I like to make my own simple syrup. This is made with 1 cup cane sugar, 1 cup demerara sugar, and 1.5 to 1 3/4 cups water. And that ratio makes a strong, rich syrup that's got more depth than a standard simple syrup, thanks to the demerara bringing a little molasses character. I like to make it the day before so it has little time to fully integrate. Step 1. Into the glass, add your 1 ounce of Demerara simple syrup, and then add a few dashes of Woodford orange bitters. Step 2. Add your Collins candied orange into it and stir it around. Step 3 is to add 3 ounces of some high octane rye. Today I'm using the James E. Pepper barrel proof rye. Now, give it another stir and go ahead and add your ice ball. Here I like to let it chill for a moment. Finally, express your orange over the top. I like to rub it across the rim as well, and then garnish with a few black cherries. Cheers. This is a completely different animal from the classic. The Demerara syrup provides a richer, more caramelized sugar flavor. The extra cherries bring a real fruit note instead of making it just a garnish, and the candied orange plus the orange bitters really pump up those citrus notes. Mix all that together with a well-aged barrel-proof rye to bring in the spice and the ethanol, and you have an incredibly balanced but complex cocktail. I love serving these to friends when they come over. That is the old-fashioned. 2 ways with real history behind it instead of just the legend. Which one are y'all making tonight? The classic or my recipe? Or are you making your own? Share your recipes in the comments because there's 1,000 of these out here and they are all fantastic. Be sure to like and follow One Ear Whiskey for more content like this because here, the pour tells the story.